Guys, welcome into my official Ohio State recruiting wish list. The top 10 players I want Ohio State to land. This is a combination of 2023 prospects, 2024 prospects, and one 2025 prospect. So I'm going to be counting down the top 10 players I want Ohio State to get based on team need, based on overall ability, things like that. Let's get right into it, starting with number 10. It's going to be ARVELL REESE, who is from Cleveland, Ohio. He's moved up the rankings significantly recently. He's a solid 4-star now, a top 300 player. I actually haven't heard much about his recruitment recently, but Ohio State, after missing on Tackett Curtis, they're going to need another linebacker. Reese is a guy who's an absolute beast. You see these situations over and over again with players from the state of Ohio. Like if this kid was born in Alabama, it's the same thing with Jermaine Matthews. If these kids were born in Alabama or Florida, they'd be top 100 players, top 50 players. But because they're from Ohio, there's not a lot of, investment from the recruiting sites and actually sending scouts up here to scout these players. So they get undervalued by a lot of the recruiting sites. And it's nice to see Reese move up the rankings consistently. I didn't realize he was already a top 300 prospect, the number 7 player in the state of Ohio. So he is my number 10 player after missing, of course, on Tackett Curtis. Finish out the linebacker class strong. Moving to number 9, it's a 2024 5-star receiver, Jeremiah Smith. And the only reason Jeremiah is not higher is simply due to need. This kid, I believe, is going to be the number 1 overall receiver in the class of 2024. Dylan Raiola is recruiting him hard right now. The rumor is he wanted to commit to Ohio State back in early spring, but Ryan Day said, listen, you're a 2024 kid. We know you want to take visits. So he's been taking some visits to Alabama and other places, but hopefully with Brian Hartline and the way he recruits, he can, Ohio State can lock him up. And what an amazing start that would be for the class of 2024. Raiola and Smith, the number 1 overall player and a 5-star receiver. The only reason Jeremiah Smith is not ranked higher On3, I believe, is the site that has him ranked like 50th or something. Otherwise, he would be like a top 5 player in the composite. So he is an absolute beast. He's a number 1 receiver on many of these sites. The composite has him listed as number 3, 2024 5-star receiver. I think if Ohio State somehow lost, Noah Rogers, maybe he moves up the list a little bit. Noah Rogers decommits. We know the rumors about Carnell Tate and Brandon Innes. He would become more of a priority. But based on the way Ohio State's recruiting has gone, that's why he's number 9. He's certainly an unbelievable prospect, but right now Ohio State recruits receivers at a ridiculous rate. It's not the biggest position of need for the Buckeyes, so he is number 9. Moving down to number 8, it's going to be Desmond UMEOZULU, who is a interesting hybrid pass rusher from Maryland. Of course, Ohio State, we're praying that they land an elite pass rusher. This would be a little bit more of a project-type athlete-type pass rusher. He's listed at 6'6", 239, and he's the 165 overall player, the number 3 overall player from the state of Maryland. The last I've heard on him is Ohio State does lead for him. This is one of Larry Johnson's top targets. I would love to land him along with another elite pass rusher. I think that would be fine for the pass rushing class of 2023. You get him, you get another ultra elite guy. Now you've got some depth back there for the class of 2023. So he comes in at number 7. Again, guys, the latest I've heard, Ohio State leads for him, but we've seen these situations with certain things where we've gotten some bad news recently. So, we'll see. But the last I heard, Ohio State does lead for him, and they are listed as warmer. Moving down the list to number 7, it's going to be Ellis Robinson IV, who is a really talented linebacker who moved down to Florida. Unfortunately, it looks like Ohio State is running 3rd in this recruitment behind both Georgia and Alabama. They did recently get him on campus about a month ago, but he also has visited Georgia and Alabama. So this is a total national recruit. I believe he was originally from New York, if I have that correct, and then moved down to IMG Academy. And, you know, Ohio State has some really good in-state talent for the 2024 class, but landing this kid along with a few in-state cornerbacks, it would absolutely remake their secondary for the class of 2024. This is the one national recruit cornerback that I would target and I would go all out for if I was Ohio State. I don't think they're going to get Desmond Ricks. This is the guy I would go out for. He's already visited. You've got a relationship going already early on. Hopefully Ohio State can keep that going. Kind of a longer shot, no doubt. Not, you know, longer shot, but still there is a chance there. Moving down to number 6, it's a 2023 kid, JAYDEN BONSU, who is a very interesting safety, but he can also play linebacker. Little bit, you know, built a little bit bigger. Perfect fit for the bullet position at Ohio State. Kind of a rover, really good athlete, solid 4-star. He did have a commitment date. Might have been around July 4th or mid-July. He was probably going to commit to Miami. He ends up pushing it back. Ohio State's back in it for him. This is another guy on the defensive side of the ball. We know 2023, it hasn't gone well. Hopefully they can secure this kid. Very versatile from New Jersey. We'll have to see. Not sure if NIL is playing into this recruitment because he almost chose Miami and then pushed his commitment date back. So I don't know what's going on, but maybe Ohio State can get him. We'll have to wait and see on that. He comes in at number 6. Moving down to number 5, this is the one class of 2025 guy. It is Ryan Montgomery, the quarterback. And so we have to understand the importance of quarterbacks. They're so important. I understand Dylan Raiola is the class of 2024, but this kid from Ohio, his brother's a commit in the class of 2023, Luke Montgomery. He looks like a national recruit. He already has an offer from Georgia. He's from Findlay, Ohio, and has an offer from Georgia. That tells you he's probably going to be a national recruit. This kid is an absolute must-get. The only issue with Dylan Raiola in 2024, could this be a situation where it scares off the class of 2025 QBs? We will see, but we've seen other programs be able to kind of do the thing where they get back-to-back-to-back 5-stars. I mean, Alabama has like 2 high 4-star quarterbacks committed in the same class. So it's important, keep getting elite quarterbacks no matter what. If you have an elite quarterback, you always have a chance. That's why a lot of us are still optimistic, even though the 2023 class has taken a nosedive. You can see they've got Dylan Raiola, the best recruit, one of the best recruits in any class in 2024, so there's some hope there. So Ryan Montgomery, the QB is so important. That's why I got to have him on this list. Moving down to number 4, it is class of 2024 running back STACY GAGE, who it seems like Ohio State has identified as their possible top target. It's going to be very important with the current running back situation, the uncertainty around Mark Fletcher, missing on Richard Young, landing an ultra uber elite top 2 or top 3 running back in the class of 2024. Gage, since the beginning, has always been thought of as the number 2 or number 1 running back for that class, kind of similar to what Richard Young was for the 2023 class. This kid is from Florida, so that's going to be a very tough recruitment to win. But Ohio State, I think, at worst, is top 3 in this recruitment right now. And running back has to be heavily emphasized after the 2022 and the 2023 classes. They're not looking amazing. You've got to land an elite guy in 2024. And I know they've been on STACY GAGE from the beginning. It's a national recruitment. It's a kid from Florida. There's the NIL stuff. It's scary, but you're going to have to land an elite running back at some point. He comes in at number 4 on my list. Moving to number 3, another 2024 kid, the biggest in-state prospect in the class. It's Bryce West, who's very likely going to be a cornerback. Right now, he is listed as an athlete, and he is almost a 5-star. Really, the only reason he's not a 5-star is because 247 inexplicably has him outside of their top 100, but they haven't done an update in a while. So when they update it, we expect Bryce Young to become a composite 5-star and the one truly can't-miss player in the state of Ohio, at least at this point in the process. He is from Glenville, right near Cleveland. That is an absolute Ohio State hotbed. So that is a must-get guy. Bryce West, especially with the defense, the cornerbacks. Also, Aaron Scott is another guy I could have included on this list. He's another really good cornerback, in-state prospect, who right now is the number 2 prospect in the state. So the number 1 and the number 2 overall prospects in 2024 in the state of Ohio are both cornerbacks. This kid is a must-get right now. You got to land him. He will be a national recruit. Moving to number 2, another 2024 kid, Cam Pringle. Now, it doesn't have to necessarily be Cam Pringle. I'm just using him as an example. You have to, at some point, land an elite, pure offensive tackle. At some point, top 50, top 60, stud. Luke Montgomery, we hope and we pray he's an offensive tackle, but there's some questions he might be a guard. 2024, it's every year. We talk about the same exact thing. The other main concern with the offensive tackle is I did a video yesterday, and apparently there is just not a ton of overall offensive tackle talent in the transfer portal. They did a deep dive on it, and they said the offensive tackles are just not transferring at the rate of other positions. So in the event Paris Johnson Jr. goes to the NFL, there's going to be a bit of an issue. Unless some 3-star steps up for Ohio State, there's going to be an issue. You have to start landing elite offensive tackles every single year. It's so important. We can have all the quarterbacks in the world. You've got to be able to block for them. You have to land an elite offensive tackle. Pringle would be a tough pull from South Carolina. I'm not saying it has to be him. Right now, there's not a lot of highly ranked offensive tackles in the class of 2024. I'm sure that's going to change. I'm sure guys are going to move up once the rankings get updated. So just land someone. Please land someone. That is the number 2 overall player on my list. And then number 1, it's one of 2 players. It's either Mateo Uiagalelei or it's Damon Wilson. It's the elite pass rusher. Ohio State is in it for both of these guys. Their recruitments are both expected to go deep into the fall, if not all the way until National Signing Day. They both currently are 5-star prospects just inside the top 30. You don't have to get both of them. I just want one of them. For the 2023 class, we know it's struggled lately, but this can still be turned around, guys. There's still a chance here. You land one of these guys, Larry Johnson, you sell him on playing time. There's no one else in the class. You should be able to do it and hopefully land, Mateo Uiagalelei. I've had my reservations about if Ohio State can actually land this kid. I think he's staying on the West Coast. Maybe Oregon, maybe USC, maybe even UCLA. But you've got to try Damon Wilson. Hopefully, if he goes to Bama, maybe there's a situation where Bama flips Keeley from Notre Dame and Ohio State's able to get their hands on Wilson. Get one of these 2 guys. He's from, Florida. We'll see. But that is the number 1 need. It's an elite pass rusher in the class of 2023. Guys, those are my top 10 overall players on my recruiting wish list for the coming years for the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.